So this week for our math, we are going to look at writing equations from a table and what those sort of different things mean. So we need to look at sort of an example here just to remind us how to write the equation of a line. So first of all, if we want to write the equation of a line and we're given a table, okay, so maybe this represents year and this represents the average cost of a cell phone. I made up these prices, so they're not perfect here, but our first objective would be to pick 2 points. So we can decide what 2 points we pick. I often tell students it's a good idea to look at some smaller numbers, but if you find a value that you like better, you can pick any 2 points, okay? And we're gonna take these out of the table and we're gonna write them as ordered pairs. So I'm gonna turn this into 2008, 300, and 2011, 500. Okay, now when you take your I-step, you will be given a reference sheet. Okay, so it might be a good time when you're done with this to make sure you're familiar with the I-step reference sheet. Your BSD teacher should have those available for you. And on that reference sheet, you should be able to find some info about lines. Okay, but one of the things that we need to do here is we need to write the equation, the slope from 2 points. So that means we need to use our slope formula, right, where we always have an xy. So we have an x1, y1, and an x2, y2. Okay, so this becomes 500 minus 300 over 2011 minus 2008. Right, and this math you can just do in a calculator, that's fine. Oop, I'm kind of going off the screen here. I think I can squeeze it in. Okay, and sometimes here you'll get some strange numbers, especially if we're talking about the price of something. It's usually not a bad idea to sort of get a rounded value, but if it tells you not to round at all, you'd need to read that in directions, but we're talking about money. So I'm going to round my slope. Remember, slope is represented by m to the nearest penny. Okay, and then when we want to write the equation of a line past this, we need to use point slope form. So again, on your reference sheet, we could find our formula. Okay, so we'll use our slope, and we will pick one of the points that we already had. Okay, so we'll say y minus, right, our y sub 1 was 300. Equals our slope, right, which we said was 66.67. Our x sub 1, so x minus 2008. Okay, we don't want to leave our answer in this format, so we need to distribute and solve. So we'll get 66.67x, right, and we're multiplying, so I'm going to take 2008 times 66.67. Okay, and that's going to give me 133,873.36. Often in these problems you'll get weird numbers, so I'm using a calculator over here to the side too. Okay, and then I'm going to add my 300. I'm going to undo subtraction with addition. Okay, so again, I'm using my calculator, but make sure right here this is negative because this is subtraction. So in my calculator, I'm putting in negative 133,873.36, and I'm going to add to that 300. Okay, so I'm going to get 66.67x minus 133,573.36, and that's my equation. Okay, so this is my equation that will represent this information that I had up here in the table, keeping in mind that my slope is always here and my y-intercept is always here. Okay, where your slope always represents your rise over run or your y over your x. So if you go up here, our y label was the cost, our x label was years, so this 66.7 is going to represent the increase in the price per year, right? I'm just taking my y per my x label, my y per my x label. Okay, your y-intercept is always going to be a starting point, so this is sort of going to be the starting price in the year 0. Keeping in mind the year 0, right, we didn't have any cell phones. I mean, we were going back, so that's why this ends up being negative.